Hello folks, Wager Detective here, about to cap the Missouri versus Oklahoma game. A big game for Oklahoma in this SEC showdown. We're going to get into it and see what the head-to-head is. That's what Wager Detective likes to lean towards. Last year, Missouri won 30-23. Okay. All time, Missouri 17-32 at home versus Oklahoma, and they're 8-33-5 at Oklahoma. Okay, they're 2-8 in their last 10 matchups versus Oklahoma. We take a look at some of these scores. I worked them out for you. Over the last 7, Missouri is 2-5. Their plus-minus differential over that span is minus 11.7 points per game, and the average score is about 54. The last 5 at Oklahoma, Missouri is 0-5. Last 5 at Oklahoma, minus 19.8 points per game, and the average score is 55.4 points per game in those matchups. And you see some of these matchups. They have won 2 of the last 3, winning by 9 and winning by 7. Both of those were in Missouri, so take that into consideration. As we look into this game, let's take a look at what's going on there. They're 7-3 this year, okay? Coach Eli Drinkwitz, pretty good coach, man. You can't knock the guy. He's 45-27 at Missouri. And if you look at his last 3 years, I mean, he's really, look at this, 21-28-8 over his last 3 years. So he's doing a fantastic job. Coach Drinkwitz, shout out to him. He is 2-2 in bowl games. Okay, he's won his last 2. He was in the Cotton Bowl in 2023 and then the Music City Bowl last year. And then his teams are ranked last 3 years. AP high, 8, 6, and 14. And then this year they were ranked high as 14th. So he brings a prepared team offensively. Okay, they pass the ball 29 times a game, and they rush it 43 times a game. And we know who they got on that ground over there. Mr. Hardy is having a fantastic year. You'll be seeing him on Sundays in the NFL. He's having a great year. Had a great game last week against Mississippi State. But you see there, they are running the ball about 14 more times a game, and they rush for about 242 yards a game. That could be a problem against this Oklahoma defense. You could turn one-dimensional, and that could be problems here. But that's what they do. Their quarterback, Bo Prisbula, I don't know if he's playing today. I should have did that before I started to cap this game. He's their main quarterback on the year, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So he's the guy that gets it done. Now you look at what they do on the ground here. Look at this guy right here. Ahmad Hardy leads the SEC in rushing yards, 13.46, 6.8 yards per rush. 15 touchdowns, guys, out of the 27. Jamal Roberts has got 4. He's got 583 yards rushing. You got Prabula got 5 on the ground. Marquise Davis has got 2. But Ahmad Hardy, this man getting it done. You ain't going to see him. He ain't coming back this year. He's probably going to be a guy that probably steps out here. Look, last year UL Monroe, he led his conference with 13 touchdowns. Says, listen, I'm going to go to a bigger program. Goes to Missouri, and he's going to eclipse his last year's number. He's got 1346 already, and he rushed for 1351 last year. He's already eclipsed his touchdown total in a tougher conference, in a step up in play. So really good running back there. That's going to be the main concern for this Oklahoma defense in this game. Receiving 15 on the through the air, so they get more of their touchdowns, and they rush more than pass, and they get more of their touchdowns on the ground than they do through the air. But they got a couple guys. Brett Norfleet leads the team with 5 reception touchdowns, and then they got 4 guys with 2. You got Marquise Johnson, Donovan Obold, and Joshua Manning, all with 2 receptions, touchdowns. Defensively, see what they like to do. Tackle for loss, 71, 29 sacks, 39 passes deflected. okay, and 4 fumble recoveries. So they're pretty solid here. You look at Zion Young, he's got 5.5 sacks. Darius Smith and Damon Wilson. Those right there are the disruptors. Damon Wilson, Darius Smith, Zion Young. You want to keep an eye on them. And I already am not a big Mateer fan. He, to me, is the single-handed reason why I don't believe Oklahoma could do much if they do get in the playoffs here. Marvin Burks got an interception, touchdown return. A ball hawk. Let's see who's doing the interceptions here. Toriano Pride with 2 interceptions. Not bad. But they do get to the quarterback. 29 sacks, guys. So they can get to the quarterback. Will they do it here? We'll have to see. Punting, kicking. You have nobody on the kick return. Kicking. We have Robert Meyer, 36 of 38, 95% on the PAT, and then he's 9 for 12 on field goal, 75%, contributing for 63 yards. Not really something, not really great. And then their punter, okay, Connor Wesselman, 32 punts, averaging about 42.4 yards a punt. So not really something to worry about there. They've turned the ball over 13 times, 8 of them by interception. Presbula. I want to see this game log here. Passing. Okay, so Matt Zollers was in last week for them. He had 2 touchdowns and an interception. So it's going to be interesting to see. They did rush for 326 yards last week. 3 touchdowns on the ground. 438 total yards. They did have 2 turnovers last week. So they're -2 on the turnovers. You see here their defense has only garnered 11 turnovers. And defensively, what do they give up on the year? They've given up 12 passing touchdowns and 11 rushing. So they're getting beat balance-wise there. And then offensively, as we said, 15 passing touchdowns and 27 rushing. So we know what Missouri likes to do, okay? Not a bad defense. And what do teams like to do on them primarily? They got rushed on last week for 52 times for 110 yards. So teams are, even though they got a stout run defense, they still like to run on them. And they passed the ball on Missouri last week for 38 times for 235 yards. So teams last 2 weeks have gotten in the end zone on them 5, 7, 8 times on their defense in the last 2 weeks against Texas A&M and Mississippi State. Okay, a little tough competition, not bad. Take a look at their splits here. On the road, they're 1-1. So think about that, guys. They have had 8 home games and only 2 on the road. So they're not really battle tested on the road, and they're 1-1. Okay, they're 1-1. They're 3-3 versus the SEC this year. They rushed the ball about 207 yards a game, and they passed for about 163. Defensively against the SEC, they give up 215 passing and 125 rushing. Okay, so we have that done. We're as we go, we're capping, we're thinking about what we're seeing here, and we're keeping a mental notebook of what's going on. Let's take a look at Oklahoma, 8-2. Brent Venables has his team cooking. Okay, 30-19 since becoming the head coach at Oklahoma. Worked as the defensive coordinator for Dabo Swinney and Clemson for many years. Defensive mindscape there for him. He is 0-3 in bowl games. Cheez-It Bowl, Alamo Bowl, Armed Forces Bowl. He can't win a bowl game, 0-3. Okay? And if we look at the SEC title picture, this is a big game for Oklahoma. I mean, are they going to make it into the title picture? Probably not. I mean, look, Texas A&M is definitely in there, right? And then it's Georgia or Ole Miss. So they're not really playing to get into the title picture, but they definitely need this game to maybe make the playoffs. I mean, I don't even know if they can do that. I mean, look at that. You got Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Texas A&M in front of you. So, it's going to be tough. But you are 8th in the poll, so obviously you're probably gonna get in there. You're probably gonna get in. Let's take a look at what they do. On the year, they're passing the ball about 32 times a game, and they're rushing for 34. So off the bat, we already know they're more balanced than Missouri. They can beat you, but they mix it up well between run and pass, okay? Whereas Missouri, they rely on Hardy. They like to run the ball. Okay, John Mateer, the quarterback. I mean, I don't know how this guy, I mean, is he still in there? He's got 8 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions, and then Michael Hawkins. Did they let me take a look here. Take a look at his game logs. Maybe they moved on. 6-1. Yeah, they haven't moved on yet to Michael Hawkins. So, I mean, off the jump here, I am not. I'll say it again. I'm not a Mateer guy. This guy's absolute. I'll tell you right now, buddy. I hope you're watching this video at some point. You're absolutely horrible, and I don't know how you're playing for a team that's 8-2. You're obviously not the reason why your team is winning. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep it honest. You got 7 interceptions on the year, a 64 completion percentage. It's just, I don't get it. I don't know how this kid, I don't know. All right, offensively on the ground, Mateer, we will give him this. He's got 7 rushing touchdowns, leads the team there. And then you got a couple guys with 4. Torrey Blaylock and Xavier Robinson, both with 4 touchdowns. So we'll give Mateer a little credit there. 329 rushing yards on the year. He can get it done with the legs. So give him a little credit for that. Mateer, 7 receiving touchdowns. Isaiah Satenga has 5. Keontez Lewis. They only got 11 through the air, and then they got 17 on the ground. So Missouri's got plus 10 touchdowns on the ground with 27, and then 11 here. And what did we say? Missouri's pretty close there in that regard too. Defenses and fumble. Okay, let's take a look here. Wow, look at this, guys. 102 tackles for loss. Their defense is just absolutely, 102 tackles for loss that they're getting guys behind the line of scrimmage. That'll put you up there in rankings. 37 sacks. They get to the quarterback. 6 interceptions, 4 fumble recoveries, 8 forced fumbles. Wow. Those are great metrics right there, guys. Tackle for loss and sacks, they get to the quarterback. Let's see who's getting it done. Who's the disruptor? Taylor Wayne, 4.5. Mason Thomas, 6.5. Wow. And then who's getting these tackle for losses? Look at that. Same thing. Taylor Wayne with 12. Mason Thomas, 9.5. Those are the disruptors there, guys. Kendall Daniels with 9. Owen Heineke with 8 tackles for loss. Kip Lewis with 8. They got guys that can, put pressure on the opposing quarterback. Okay? Let's take a look. Look at this. Isaiah Satenga leads the conference with 21 punt returns, 12.7 a return. Okay? Kicking and punting. Look at this. Tate Sandell, 21 of 22, leads the conference in made field goals with and 95.5%. 91 points for Tate Sandell, leading his team in points there. Wow. And then punting, Grayson Miller, 38 punts on the year for 47.1. So we got the better field goal kicker with Oklahoma. We have the better punter. Okay. Game logs. They got 12 turnovers on the year. And what do? They forced 10 turnovers. So they're +2 there. We know that they're better defensively, and they are at home, right? Missouri has only played a couple road games this year. I factor that in. You might not have Prabula in the game. We got a better defense with Oklahoma, significantly, in my opinion, okay? And then we have history that we're leaning on here of what Missouri does versus Oklahoma their last 7. They're 2-5, minus 11.7 points per game on the plus-minus, and they're 0-5 last 5 at Oklahoma, minus 19.8 points per game, 55.4 points per game. So Missouri, they got the running game. I got to believe that Venables is going to have an answer for that. Look at what they've given up on the year, guys. 8 passing touchdowns and only 6 rushing. It's going to be tough sledding. Going to be tough sledding, man, for Hardy. He just had a good game last week. You're more one-dimensional. You run the ball way more than you pass the ball on the year. Oklahoma's more balanced. Oklahoma has given up, I mean, you look what they're doing last 3 weeks. They've given up 5 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing. So 9. Whereas, Missouri, we said, has given up 8. But if you look at the competition, guys, come on, give me a break here. They played Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Alabama. Now, people will say, well, they only beat Alabama. They're coming off a high of playing on the road and beating Bama. Do you think that means they want to stop here? Do you not factor in that Missouri just beat Mississippi State by more than 2 touchdowns? And are you not factoring in who they just played in their last 3 weeks and won 2 of those against tougher competition? Okay? Look at their splits here. 4-1 at home, 4-0 on the road. Guys, building a case here. Against the SEC, they pass for 191 a game and they rush for about 108. Defensively, SEC, they give up 265 a game. Wow. So they're minus there versus SEC. And then rushing, they only give up 86 yards per game. So if Missouri's main attack is Hardy, I like Eli Drinkwitz. I like Prabula, who might not be the starter this week. He might be, but I don't think Zollers could have another good week like that. I don't think Hardy's going to have, as much as he is the man, I don't know if he could have another week like he did last week. They're giving up 86 a game against Missouri. I mean, against the SEC. Okay? I got to believe here. Oklahoma, they might not be in the SEC title picture, but they're definitely still playing to get into the playoff. And I got to believe that they're going to come out here, right? And they got the 24th best SOS in the nation, guys. I got to believe that they're going to be able to score here against Missouri. I think it's going to be tough sledding for Missouri to score here in this game. They're more one-dimensional. The problem I have with Oklahoma is I do not trust Mateer. I don't like the kid as a quarterback. I don't know how he is as a person, but as a quarterback, strictly on an 8-2 team, you're not the reason why they're getting it done. But you do run the ball. I got to give them that. I got to give them credit for that. Mateer does have 7 on the ground. Guys, if I'm looking at this game, the history and what's going on, I got to lean Oklahoma here. I'm sorry. That's going to be the call here for Wager Detective. I'm gonna call Oklahoma minus the 5.5 to cover against Missouri with everything we just uncovered here. And if I was to take an over, I think 42.5 is a little low here. I believe it's a little low, even though Oklahoma can play defense. I still think you got garbage time. Anybody could break one. A turnover here or there in the opposing team's territory could be a reason why. We got a good field goal kicker with Oklahoma, better punter with Oklahoma, better field goal kicker with Oklahoma. Quarterback's pretty much even, but if Przybula plays, I think Przybula is a little bit better than Mateer, but Oklahoma at home, I like them, man. That's going to be the call here. Wager Detective, November 21st, 2025. We're going to call Oklahoma minus 5.5, and we're going to take that over 42.5. I hope to see you guys in the winner's circle. That's the call here. Oklahoma minus 5.5 over 42.5, and I will talk to you soon.